What's going on, people? Welcome back to Chelsea Fan TV. Welcome back to another video for you guys today. I know we're all meant to be in Craven Cottage right now. I should have my phone in my hand in the middle of a matchday vlog. Hopefully in the middle of a Chelsea win as well. But because of obvious circumstances surrounding the Queen and her untimely passing, all football games have been cancelled from Premier League down to grassroots level in memoriam of the Queen's passing. And with that in mind, I thought we should still be giving you guys some content. There should still be something that we can discuss. And obviously, it's not just been a big week because of the Queen's passing. It's also been a big week because of Thomas Tuchel's sacking as well. One of the biggest shocks of the season. One of the managers least likely to be departing. If you asked a football fan at the start of this season, who would be the first to go? Who would be the second to go? But we're here. We're here in the situation. Tuchel has had a massive fallout with the new regime. He's had fallouts with players as well. And allegedly, this departure has been in the books for the last few weeks, with Bowley making a string of younger signings such as Kasedi, Chukwuemeka, even the likes of Fofana, with a future long-term rebuild in mind. The only thing that we didn't know was that Tuchel wasn't going to be playing a part in that rebuild, and it would be Graham Potter instead. But with that in mind, there's been a lot of questions as to what Graham Potter would bring to Chelsea, the formations, the styles of play, who would be the most likely to thrive in his system as well. And we're going to be answering all those questions in this video today. So before we get into it, hit the like button to Chelsea Fan TV if you guys haven't done so already. Subscribe to the channel as well if you want to be the first to know whenever we release any new content. And if you do want to be the first to know, hit the bell notification button as well. And without further ado, let's go straight into the video. What would Graham Potter bring to Chelsea Football Club? Now, before we go into the formation, the players that we would hopefully see thrive under Graham Potter, which would hopefully be all of them. But before we go into all of that, let's talk about Graham Potter's style of play. And his style of play has made Brighton one of the most exciting teams to watch in the Premier League in the last 12 months. Graham Potter has implemented a system that emphasises the modern fundamentals of football today, which is, as we all know, the two Ps, possession and pressing. Graham Potter's also been well known for getting the best out of the players that he has, and to be able to play an attacking style of play and to get results and to get good performances against the best in England with a Brighton side that people always used to expect to only be seeing in relegation battles and everything like that. To be able to get them to a position of 9th place, to be able to get them within the top 6 within the first 3 to 4 months of the season, it only shows the quality that a manager that Graham Potter possesses. And that's why I'm still very excited for this move, even if I am still a little bit hurt over the Tuchel sacking. I do believe Graham Potter would have been one of my favourites for a new managerial role if Tuchel had been sacked a year or two from now. So even if we are a little bit early into it, I'm happy that we've recovered well with the signing of Graham Potter. Now, Potter plays a very similar formation and a very similar style of play to Thomas Tuchel, and he plays a possession-based style of play that would start with build-up play from the goalkeeper, which could mean a potential remontada for Kepa, but we will talk about that later on in the video. He also likes to play with a defence that has its play dictated by a deep-lying playmaker in midfield that's capable of retaining and recycling possession, which, again, sounds a bit familiar to you guys. We will get into that later in the video too. The playmaker will be demanded to drop deep to collect the ball from the centre-back and create diamonds and triangles to create multiple passing options to beat the press and to help progress play forward. And in transition, Graham Potter also likes his team to keep the ball in central areas whilst building up and then unleash the overlapping wide players who could then utilise the support they have in the half space, which Chelsea already have in the likes of Raheem Sterling, the likes of Mason Mount, Kai Havertz, Christian Pulisic, who all like to play within those half space and all like to drive the ball into that position as well. And that could help us to create openings in attack. Now, this style of play will be nothing new to a Chelsea side that's already transitioned from only playing quick counter-attacking football to being able to play out the defence, to being able to play out from the goalkeeper as well. And we do have players that are capable of executing that task. Thiago Silva and his unbelievable ball-playing ability and precise long passing as well will be perfect for Graham Potter, who will operate him in the role of a sweeper, the deepest central centre-back tasked with recycling possession and playing vertical long passes to start attacks, while he also has centre-backs on either side who are capable of progressing play either through passing the ball or through driving the ball forward, which is where Koulibaly thrives in, where Fofana thrives in, mainly in terms of his driving of the ball, not so much of his direct passing, but that's hopefully something that Graham Potter can get out of Fofana in the future. Jorginho would also be seen as the deep line playmaker, having the role of retaining and recycling possession to start attacks. And midfielders and wing-backs with the ability to press consistently would also be key to this system as well, as Graham Potter relies heavily on that pressing in defence and in attack as well. Potter would also hope to create overloads in attack by utilising a strong press both for the midfielders, the wing-backs and the forwards as well, and having players that can operate in those half spaces like we already said, which would be a familiar role for the likes of Havertz, of Mount and Pulisic. And from the wing-backs, James, Cucurella both love operating in those half spaces and coming out wide as well. Ben Chilwell as well is very direct from that position too, so you could see a lot from both of those wing-backs in that position. Graham Potter also likes to play with forwards that are capable of making vertical runs that can stretch defences, with the likes of Aubameyang, Sterling, Brozier and Havertz, all who will exploit open spaces left by other players. And hopefully that means we can finally see the best out of our attackers, because we have been waiting for these attackers to start cooking. And now we have a much more attack-minded coach in Graham Potter. Hopefully we start to see them cook. Potter's dynamic system will also allow Chelsea to use many different systems within the basis of a 90-minute game with the same fundamentals in place. But my only real worry about that is that Potter's usually well known for playing a string of different formations, but so was Thomas Tuchel before he joined Chelsea. He was known with experimenting with different formations in numerous games and even changing formations multiple times in games. But from Tuchel's perspective, due to a lack of versatile personnel across the midfield and the attack, we only seem to play the same amount of formations. I do worry that Potter will find himself with those same restrictions for this season. The only thing that I will say, though, is that I do think if there is a problem for Chelsea, that's a problem for Chelsea this season only. Because once Potter starts to bring in his own players, once he starts to build in the team in his own image, then you could start to see him be a bit more experimental. You could start to see him try different formations and different styles of play a lot more during a game. But I'm not too sure whether we'd see that happen immediately. All depends on how Potter implements his style of play throughout the games this season, but I do feel like that's going to be a similar problem that he comes across, that Tuchel came across as well. Now, in terms of our formation, Potter could genuinely play with anything for all I know, but I do expect him to play a similar formation to what Tuchel's played, just to keep a bit of familiarity around the squad. I could see Chelsea go for a 3-5-2. I think you could see the same back three with Thiago Silva, Fofana and Koulibaly at the back, Reece James and one of Cucurella or Chilwell in the wing-back positions. But I could see us go for a 3 in midfield this time, just so we could have more dominance in the midfield and potentially get the best out of Jorginho as well. So I could see us go for Jorginho and 2 of Kante, Kovacic or Mason Mount in the midfield. And the attack, I think you could see Aubameyang and Sterling as our starting front two. But it could easily be Brozier or Havertz in the middle as well. And I do think with one of them playing as a ghost striker, one of them playing as a shadow striker, and the other one trying to make vertical runs and get the best out of the other player on the other side, you could start to see them thrive a little bit more. But that would just be a base formation that I could see Chelsea go with for this game. In terms of players that could be revived under Graham Potter, there is an endless amount of games, but I'm going to try and concentrate it down to 3 players from now. I'm going to start off with Kai Havertz. And with Graham Potter playing with more attacking patterns and playing with more tactical instructions in the final third, Havertz might find himself with more space to deal with and he will find himself in better positions facing the goal as opposed to playing with his back to it. This could help him be a little bit more confident, and it could help improve his end product as well, which has been his biggest question mark while he's been at Chelsea. He's usually at his best when he is given a free role and when he's given the ability to roam around the box and just find himself in better positions, and also to make runs to get the best out of the players around him as well, and to make space for them too. And if Potter can focus specifically on him and give him specific tactical instructions going forward in games, you could see the best out of Kai Havertz. I, for one, hope so, but we will have to wait and see on that. Number 2, we did hint at this earlier, but Kepa. You could be seeing a Kepa remontada under Graham Potter. And with his ability to play out at the back, that could make him a necessity in Graham Potter's system, because we all know that's what Mendy struggles with. And Mendy hasn't even looked confident in terms of his strengths, in terms of his shot stopping, in terms of being commanding in and around the box with crosses and corners, which are still going to be issues with Kepa, by the way. But at least Kepa would be able to give you the ability to play out the back, would make Chelsea stronger in the first phase as well. And right now, we haven't even got that with Edouard Mendy. So don't be too surprised if you see Kepa get given more opportunities this season. And the final player, which I did already hint at, Jorginho. With Graham Potter looking to pack the midfield with extra bodies, this could mean more protection for Jorginho, as he looked very isolated in the last few months under Thomas Tuchel. This means he could focus more on recycling possession and starting attacks, and it means he could be less isolated in defensive transition as well, which would make him a lot more reliable as a result of that. Hopefully we see the best out of Jorginho, because we need a DM, and we need a DM we can rely on this season. We're not too sure about Zakaria yet, because we haven't even seen him play for us. But hopefully we see a renaissance from Jorginho this season. But guys, this has been all I feel like I can give you on Graham Potter. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Let me know whether you agree or disagree with anything I've said. And don't forget to like and subscribe to Chelsea Fan TV. Like and subscribe to my personal channel as well. And it's been Carefree Lewis G. Peace.